Right, and you just heard the first track was Get Out of the Ghetto Part 1 by the New York Collective, Standing on the Corner. And finished up, we had the track Why We Cry, Why We Die by the UK soul based collective Salt. Anonymous collective. I don't think it's been confirmed on who the members are. If you're into that very, I don't know if you ever heard like that old 80s soul music. It gives me very strong reminiscence of that. Good afternoon, listeners of Coffee Noise. I'm your host, DJ Marlin, and if you can believe it, it's Tuesday once again. How are you doing out there, listeners? Today it is the 28th of November, 2023. It is almost time for finals, listeners. So, you know what that means. Have fun, study, or don't have fun and just fail. So, I can't really help you on that end. So, you're gonna have to do all the studying while me, I also have to do studying on my part. I forgot how many exams I have left over. Maybe like, 5 more things I gotta do before the semester ends. I have a 6-page paper due next Tuesday, so I'm gonna have to get that finished up probably on starting Thursday and finishing up on Sunday, actually. I like to have my work completed about a day before, and then I have, well, I guess you could say one exam split into 2 parts for modern philosophy, and then I have an oral exam for that same class, and I think I had to like discuss a part on the philosopher Kant. Interesting stuff, you know. I'm gonna say it's very interesting. It can be very difficult to understand. Anyway, listeners, instead of boring you right now, let's look at the weather right now for today. Right now in the city of Edinburgh, it is a nice 66 degrees. We have a high of 67 with a low of 52 degrees. It was pretty chilly in the morning. I know my dog was huddled up in my blanket when I was dressing up. Sammy, he is a very cute little bundle of joy. Although he bites me, he'll still try. He'll playfully bite, but he's a puppy. He doesn't really understand the boundary between playing a playful bite and an actual bite, and he kind of just jumps that line a lot of times. Actually, it's kind of painful. It's not the worst, actually. I mean, but it could just be, Sammy. Oh, don't bite me. That's painful. You don't bite me. But I love my dog. Anyways, let's look at the rest of the weather for it this week. We're going to have a nice cool temperature again for tomorrow, for Wednesday. On Thursday, we're going to hit back into the highs of 83. And then going forth from Friday and beyond, we're looking at a nice cool in the mid to lower 70s. As I said, listeners, it is almost time for finals. So let's talk about that for a minute. Exams, and it's gonna boil down to see, hey, do you get the credits for your classes? To listeners out there who are looking very strictly on their GPA, I'm with you right there. As well to listeners who are eagerly looking to see if they have enough credits to graduate. I unfortunately have to do 4 more semesters of college. I won't graduate till fall of 2025, so, I don't know how to feel about that. Well, I mean, it's not the worst, actually. I guess it could be worse. I guess it could be worse. Instead of a 4, it could be like, oh, I have to do another. I'm starting again as a first-year student. That was me around 2 years ago. Huh. And that was Purple Mountains from their 2019 self-titled album, All My Happiness Is Gone. David Berman, who's one of my favorite singer-songwriters. That track, it's a very beautiful, lovely track. Anyways, right now, listeners, if you use Apple Music, they're doing their Replay 23. I think that's what it's called. I don't know. I use Apple Music. I tend to use Spotify more. But Apple Music, they do have some albums that it's not available on Spotify. It's weird, the whole licensing just to play on certain. It's a very long. Yeah, it's just a lot. Anyways, so I was looking at the ones that apparently made it. So the top five artists of this year, we're gonna start from the bottom and go to the top. We have Purple Mountains with 230 minutes, Dean Blunt with 308 minutes, Stars of the Lid with 321 minutes, Black Country New Road with 542 minutes, and then my top artist, according to Apple Music, is Max Richter with 548 minutes. We also look at the top albums of the year, going from the bottom to the top. We have the self-titled Horse Jumper of Love album, Purple Mountains, self-titled. So the Flies Don't Come, the collab album between Milo and Kenny Segal, and Refinement of the Decline by Stars of the Lid, and top it off with Max Richter with the very long 8.5 hour album Sleep, which I did play a lot to to just basically help me fall asleep. Because sometimes, listeners, I have issues sleeping. It's not that I wouldn't say I'm restless. No, actually, I cannot sleep in pure silence. I know people who can. I don't know how you can do that. It's almost like torture for me. Pure silence, like, ugh, I hate that. So I had to have some background noise playing. Usually it's the AC, but in case of times I don't use the AC as of right now, I'll put my phone really close and I play that whole album throughout my entire sleeping, and sleep through like a baby. Well, for the most part, until Sammy moves around. He wants to use the restroom, but then I tell him just to go use his pad. He's very cute, but it can be a bit of an annoyance. Anyways, let's get into the next track. We're going to go to some 90s. We're going to play off some slowcore and I guess you could say Midwestern slowcore. Here is the live rendition of New Year's by the American slowcore artist Codeine. And that was the track Six is Better Than Eight by the short-lived post-rock band Dietwage. I believe that's how you pronounce it. It was only one of two releases the band ever released. First being their EP, also titled Six is Better Than Eight, released in 2003, and then followed up in 2006 with their debut and only album, Would You Rather Be Followed by 40 Ducks for the Rest of Your Life? Now, would I? That's an interesting question right there. I mean, ducks are pretty cool, but to have 40 ducks follow me for the rest of my life? I don't know. On one hand, it would be very attractive. I always have a little army of ducks behind me. But on the other hand, if I go shopping, especially at the store, it's gonna be weird with the line of ducks behind me, unless they form a little bubble or something like that. I actually had to think about that. Anyways, enough of the rambling. Both releases from the band, very good. If you're into that, more of a melodic post rock sound. It reminds me of I guess you could say the post hiatus, the first album, Godspeed You Black Emperor, released after a hiatus. Not Alleluia, Don't Bend, Descend. It was the other album. I forgot the name of it. It was the album after Don't Bend, Descend, which is still my second favorite Godspeed You Black Emperor album. The first one would have to be Yankee UXO. That one just that album's like, whoo, that's a beautiful album. Especially I just love, yeah, I really do love post rock albums in general. Anyways, let's see what they have on the front page of Rate Your Music, where I go to, well, as the website name says, Rate Music. Let's see, I have a 1960s album anniversary. Let's see, from 1967, we have the Beatles with their album Magical Mystery Tour. That album cover scared me when I was a little kid. Not the best, but it's a beautiful album. I think if you're wanting to get into the Beatles, would I say it's a good album to start with? Yeah, I think so. I mean, yeah, I guess you could look into the other albums. What's that album called? There's that other Beatles album. not. Was it Abbey Road? Is that the name of the album? I forgot. It was not one the Revolver. That's what it's called. I mean, I guess you could listen to Revolver, Rubber Soul, especially. I guess you want to listen to that. Abbey Road. I feel like Abbey Road is a bit. I wouldn't say overrated in that it's a bad album. It's just kind of like everyone kind of heard it once in their life already. There's other albums. Sergeant Pepper's Lonely Hearts. I guess I think that'll be the better one. But if you really just want to jump into it, I don't think nothing can really beat the White Album. I think that one's your best bet into getting into the Beatles. If you haven't, let's see. Those were a few weeks ago. We also had the 1980s album anniversary of Isn't Anything by the legendary shoegaze band My Bloody Valentine. I had a phase with that band probably in my first year of college. I was thought, oh, I'm cool because I listen to shoegaze. Like, yeah, you're not, buddy. But yeah, it's pretty good. It's a really good album. If you haven't listened to it, definitely check it out. I mean, yeah, you could listen to Loveless, and I feel like Loveless is, I guess, many would just say the essential shoegaze album. But definitely check out their debut, Isn't Anything, and their follow-up 2013 album, and their last one so far, since I haven't really released any music, MBV. I say MBV. Some people just say, oh, it's called My Bloody Valentine. That's the album name, but I don't know. I really don't know, really. Anyways, to finish off this show, I decided let's get into some, how would I say it? It's electronic music, but almost, I listen to it on like one of those radio DJ shows they have on YouTube, one of those Romanian Minimal, I think that was called. I don't know what it was called. They have weird names for that. Anyway, this is Overture. I've been listening to it a lot recently, and I thought, hey, why not? So, let's get into it. Alright, listeners, and we are back. I hope you enjoyed that fast-paced electronic music. It is at 128 beats per minute. There's a certain genre, I forgot the name of it, when you go above, I think it's like 300 beats per minute, and then above when you go 400, 500, that kind of stuff. My weekend's going to be kind of busy because I'm going to have to get a new phone, so that's fun. And also, I just checked, listeners, it's been 1 year since I started doing this radio show and giving the listeners out there noise that could probably make your ears ring, which I take as a compliment. And we listeners, next we're going to have the final show of 2023, so hope to see you there. And last words of today. I can't really think of anything really. As always, like previous weeks, you can find the playlist for this week's playlist on both Apple Music and Spotify, available on Instagram at RioHatesArt. That was going to be it for me for today. I'll see you next week. Stay tuned to Vaquero Radio, the Valley's only student station. Goodbye.